Today's subject is travel projects, and I decided that it was a good time of year to tackle this one because, a lot of people are going to be wanting to consider having a travel project on standby. They're also good any time of year when you're doing waiting for fill in the blank thing, but especially this time of year, it's a good idea to have some ideas on standby. Oh, welcome everyone, and welcome back if you've been here before. I'm just crocheting a stash buster blanket in real time, one row at a time, and I take a stretch break about halfway through. All that being said, back to the subject for today, which is travel projects. The first suggestion is a classic. Actually, I'm going to group the first two suggestions together because they're both classics. They both have very similar construction styles if you're just doing a classic, simple, straightforward one. And that would be both dishcloths and scarves. I know they're very different in usage, but think about it. They're both rectangles, right? Or, well, I guess dishcloths are closer to squares, but same idea. And dishcloths are very fast, simple, and you don't even really need to bring a pattern with you, which is one less thing to worry about. Same with scarves. If you're doing something very simple, you don't even have to worry about having extra stuff to carry with you. They don't require any additional fixing up once you've done. You just weave in the ends and you're golden, which is always nice. And they're very travel friendly when you think about it, because you can fit the amount of yarn that you need for one into a project bag quite easily, even if it's just a regular sized or small sized project bag. Let's see, they're a very forgiving project if you're making a classic one, and you can make them as fancy as you want when you think about it. And you can always find use for them, really. Well, scarves you might have to wait for the appropriate season, but it's always a good idea to have an extra one of those. For dishcloths, I think cotton is the most popular choice. I've seen people make them in acrylic, but they're just not the same. For scarves, you could go with any material, really. I've never made a scarf out of cotton, but I suppose it's possible, you know. Another option, which is very travel friendly, is baby bibs, especially if you're going to meet a special little one that has just joined your family. Baby bibs, they're really fast, they're really simple. They're basically just a dishcloth. You can take any dishcloth pattern and make that, and add a little thing to tie on the bib, and you got a baby bib. They're great. You can use cotton for them, just like you would a dishcloth. But from what I've heard, acrylic actually works very well for baby bibs, believe it or not. Cotton works really well as well, but acrylic absorbs even more. And when parents are tired and they don't want to change the bib as often as the store-bought ones, the cotton one will last slightly longer than a store-bought bib, and the acrylic one will last a few hours. And when you're changing the bib super often, those extra few hours are apparently really nice to have. So just something to keep in mind. Also, another thing to keep in mind if you're making baby bibs is don't use buttons, or I would recommend not using buttons because they're not very child safe. I suppose you could sew them on very, very well, but a lot of new parents are anxious, and rightfully so. So I would recommend Velcro, or just making two sides that are long enough that you could tie it comfortably without tying it very tight. So you'd want to add some extra length on that. And let's see. There's no sewing required. Oh, wait. Let me correct myself. There is some sewing required for a baby bib, especially if you're adding Velcro, but it's not as intimidating as you might think it is. I have a video on that. I'll link it in the description below. And it's not hard. I would recommend using the Velcro that's intended for sewing, though, because if you get the stuff with the sticky stuff on the back, it's very difficult to sew through that. Let's see, what else? Whoa! I usually do a stretch break, and this is me making up for that. I'm so sorry, guys. Can't believe I forgot a stretch break. Wow. Well, you know what they say. When things go kinda off kilter, that means good luck, right? So, anybody watching and you made it this far, hope you're gonna have a great day. And you have some good luck, whatever that means to you, in your life. Can't believe I forgot that. I'm so good at that usually. All right. Socks are a classic one. Who doesn't love a wonderful pair of handmade socks? There's this whole debate between, toe up or cuff down. And the whole debate between cuff down or toe up kind of reminds me of the whole fork spoon debate for chunky soup. I find it kind of funny. I mean, I didn't realize it could be a big debate, but here we are. I guess I could weigh in saying I've only ever made cuff down socks, so I don't know if toe up would be something I would be cool with or not, but I mean, is what it is, right? Let's see. Oh, another one? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I waited this long for this one. Slippers. They are a very easy alternative to socks, and everybody enjoys them. You can always use a new pair of them because they wear out. And they're another one that's a very quick and simple dopamine, like boom, they're done. The real classic yarn to use was Fintex for socks. I don't know if they sell that anymore, but that was a nice tough yarn for socks that would not wear out as quickly. And even if you make it with regular acrylic or another type of yarn, they're really quick and simple, and they require very minimal sewing. But I find for sewing slippers, if you just leave a long tail at either the beginning or the end, like, or maybe both, depending on the slipper you're making, you can just use that long end to sew up the slipper so that you just have that as the way of weaving in your ends, which you have to do anyway, right? Of course, any pattern or any project can become a travel size project. Even this could be considered a travel size project, depending on the situation that you're in for your traveling. If you're on a public transit of some sort, oh, look, a little thread. Anyway, if you're on some sort of public transit, this might not be an ideal option. For all the obvious reasons. It would be a lot to carry around. There's like, I guess I could still fit it in a project bag at this point, but once I start getting to, you know, a further thing down the road, this would end up being not an ideal travel project, but you know, I could make it work if I was really set on doing so. It also doesn't require a pattern. It's I could just bring just enough yarn to last me for the trip that I'm taking and things like that. Although it would be a little bit more challenging. Like, it wouldn't be a just throw it in a bag and go kind of project, right? But other projects that are more difficult and require like a pattern to be kept with you are options as well. If you're doing that, I would recommend having like a hard copy of the pattern because, well, just because all the things that happen when you're traveling, you might want to have a hard copy. I mean, fill in the blank situation, right? And yeah, it's also a good idea for any travel project. Like, we're going a little bit wider of concept here. For any travel project, it's good enough. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Tongue-tied. It's a good idea to have a hard copy of the pattern, have enough yarn for the trip, have something resembling a project bag, whether that be a lovely, lovely project bag or just a grocery bag, just something to carry it in. If you're doing crochet, a pencil case is really helpful to hold the crochet hook in, and other notions if you need them. And for knitting needles, if you have one of the fancier kits, they come in a case. But if you just have a regular standalone set, they work just fine, and it's just a good idea to keep everything together, right? I think that's all of the... Oh, wait. Some of the other ones that require patterns, well, they don't require it, but more often than not, you usually use a pattern for them, would be mittens, hats, and yeah, like your current whip, whatever your current whip is. And even pouches. Oh, I skipped over that one. pouches are pretty, quick and simple to do. And you could either knit them, crochet them, or even sew them. That might be a travel-friendly sewing project, depending on how comfortable you are with hand sewing. Things that need to be sturdy. I hope you have a great day.